So I'm going to show you the actual documents, and you can actually see some of these payments for yourselves. So here we are. Now those words there about stemming demand, we've heard that before. That's that demarketing again, right? This is the third time that we've had a Rockefeller-funded, US-funded campaign against our major resource-based industries. First it was forestry, then salmon farming, as we talked about, and most recently our oil. So over the years, I've kept track of the money as it comes in. I've ran a spreadsheet. What you're seeing on this slide is the snippets from the tax returns of the Rockefeller Brothers Fund over the years. And you can see they've continued to fund corporate ethics to run this campaign. Around 2012, they switched to a new intermediary organization. It's called the New Venture Fund. It's in Washington, D.C. And as you can see, the money's still coming in. Interesting, there you can see that we were down to 2017 there. The interesting thing is the purpose for which the money is being provided. As you can see here, as far back as 2012, the Rockefeller Brothers Fund was funding activist groups to pressure the Alberta government into putting a cap, what they called a cap, on tar sands production. Of course, they're referring to what, in fact, your premier did when she brought in her climate plan, right? Put on a cap. And you know, your premier, she's done everything that the activists asked for. She put the cap on emissions. She increased the carbon tax. And yet, the money's still coming in. When the activists, when this was first announced, of course, even the activists, this Dirty Oil Sands campaign, they called it a huge step forward. And I tell you, I was optimistic at the time. I thought, hey man, maybe this will be peace. Maybe now we'll be able to move forward. But no, as I said, the money keeps coming in. You can see here the snippets of the tax returns showing $1 million in 2015, another $500,000 the next year, another $500,000 last year. This is from a funder called the Oak Foundation, one of the co-funders of this tar sands campaign. And then most recently, of course, your premier created a huge boreal forest preserve. It's enormous. It's twice the size of Vancouver Island. I thought, that'll be good enough. But no, money's still coming in. Here are the most recent payments from the Rockefeller Brothers Fund in May and March of this year. And by the way, it's not just Alberta. I think it's important to know this. What you're seeing here is the documentation on the domain registration for the website, one of the websites of this tar sands campaign. And you can see there that it says that it's for stopping the expansion of the Canadian oil sands, not just Alberta. The keywords, Enbridge, Kinder Morgan, Keystone, and so on. Well, over the years, bit by bit, we've got more information about this campaign, mostly because something came online that was probably not intended to become publicly available. For example, these two documents. On the left, a strategy paper, a draft at least, of the original strategy paper for the campaign, and also a PowerPoint presentation produced by the Rockefeller Brothers Fund. Both of these documents date back 10 years. This slide is straight out of the PowerPoint from the Rockefellers. I didn't Photoshop this in any way. It's just showing you that from the beginning, from the get-go, the budget was about $7 million, and well, you can see yourselves what the money was for. This slide mentions the strategies that are word for word out of the strategy paper. Raising the negatives, raising the costs of doing business, slowing down infrastructure expansion, and what they call enrolling key decision makers, in other words, the politicians. All of this to do what they call generating a steady drumbeat of bad press to negatively brand Alberta oil as the poster child of dirty fuel. Now, I think we'd all agree, if our country's oil, if your province's oil, I should say, is the poster child of dirty fuel, well, we earn it, right? But as we know, that's not the truth. And that's the problem here, my friends, is that this campaign is missing the most important ingredient, which is the truth. It's just like David Suzuki's false claims about PCBs and top sands. Well, as the years went by, there was little bit drips and drabs of information that came available. And then this, what you're seeing on the screen here, what's the text in blue. You probably can't read at the back, so I'm going to blow it up on the next slide. But first of all, go ahead, don't be shy. Pull out your phones, if you've got them, and go to your browsers and Google this, okay? Put in Corp Ethics and tar sands campaign. Make sure you put the tar sands campaign in quotes, like that. Don't be shy, I certainly don't mind, your neighbors won't mind. And what you should get is this, okay? You get that in Google, and then click the very top link. It says the tar sands campaign, Corp Ethics, Michael Marks. If you do that, you'll get that screen that I showed you, this one, okay? And then you'll read that sentence that I'm going to blow up here on this slide. As you can see, now Michael Marks, by the way, he's an individual who wrote the original campaign strategy. And he's been running this campaign for more than a decade. And he says, as you can read yourselves on that webpage, from the very beginning, the campaign strategy was to landlock the tar sands so their crude could not reach the international market or could fetch a high price per barrel. So there you have it, my friends. We've been told. We've been told that from the very beginning, the strategy of this campaign was to do exactly what has been done.